everybody. I'm Thomas from Tarot Your Way, and tonight we're going to talk about tarot symbolism. We're going to start with the Hierophant and try to get up to the Hangman. I'll just let people come in and join us. How's everybody doing today? Another hot day in Houston, that's for sure. And then I got some new lighting. So hopefully it's not too distracting. Give you something to look at other than my face. What's everybody been watching? Notice Netflix. We've got Feeding the Ducks going on here for the music. Any late night people out there today? I took a big nap, so I'm ready for this. So if you're just joining us, we're going to do some tarot symbolism tonight. And we're going to start with number 5, the Hierophant. And down at the Hierophant's feet, we have the crossed keys to heaven. And that's what they are. His throne is gray, meaning that it's been occupied for a long time. Not by this pope, but by previous popes. The triple crown on his head, and then the triple cross are symbol of the papal office. They're just symbols of the Pope. The monk here has the Rose of Sharon on his vest, and the other has Lily of the Valley for purity. The Rose of Sharon is passion. The Lily of the Valley is purity. His hand is raised in the sign of benediction. And this is from the Apostle Paul. He had, sort of like me, he has some nerve damage in his hands. And he couldn't raise all his fingers, so the benediction sign was adopted and used by all subsequent popes and clergy. The white underrobe is for purity. The red is for the passion and the blood of Christ. The pillars are usually light and dark, and similar to the high priestess, and that just shows the duality of man. And the two slippers each have a cross on them, and that's just signifying that his steps are divinely guided. And then the blue at the neck is for inspiration. Let's go on to the next card. Our lovers. We don't have a lot of symbolism in the lovers. Okay, here behind Adam and Eve, we got on the Adam side, we have the burning tree. The tree on fire symbolizes passion. There in the Garden of Eden. Behind Eve, we have the tree of knowledge. And this is a card of choices. Adam had a choice between Lilith or Eve. And he chose Eve, the younger of the two and the more beautiful one. So when you have choices, make sure you choose the right choice. Now we're on to our chariot, number 7. Hi, Michelle. How are you doing tonight? Just us two right now. I'm doing fine. So our chariot, we've got opposing forces. We've got the black and the white sphinx, and they're looking opposite directions. So this is a card of opposites. We need to control the opposites and get them both on neutral ground to go forward. So you're not going to go very far if you've got opposing forces. So you just got to get everybody in. Black and white sphinxes, the duality of man. Okay, the sash is a lingam. And that's for the male and female, the duality of man. Canopy of stars, and the star in the center of his crown stands for celestial, heavenly, divine. The square in the center of his chest represents earth. Now, if you look closely, there's masks on both shoulders. One is smiling, one is frowning. One is Urim, and the other is Thurim, and the meanings are innocence and guilt. The wings are air. In the center of the wings is a circle, and that's earth. And then on the sides, we have water and trees, and that's, again, just another sign of opposites. Our next card is strength. Might just be somebody who's lurking. We love lurkers. They add to our watch time. Someday they'll come say hi. Okay. So the little infinity symbol is called the Uberus or Oberus, and it means life flows, eternity, endless. The white robes for purity. She has a living crown on her head, and that's just for utility. So there's not a lot of signs or symbolism on the strength card. But again, we have the yellow in the background signifying action. So we either take strength or not. We have to be gentle in our strength to tame that lion. So this is going to go really quick tonight since we don't have anybody asking questions. Okay, so our gray or black means that this person is in isolation. They've gone into isolation to gain enlightenment. He's holding a staff, and that's the sign of the wanderer. Again, he's on the hilltop, and there's ice beneath his feet. Again, another sign of isolation. The lamp is six-sided, and that's for the Star of David. And his white beard signifies wisdom. So that's the messages of the Hermit. Michelle, you say strength shows in a lot of readings? Oh yeah, the lion is a sign of Leo. Makes sense since you're a Leo. It's that inner strength is just bound inside of you. Now we're going to go on to the Wheel of Fortune. There's a whole lot of symbols on this one. So the wheel speaks the law of life, and I'll show you why it does that. T-A-R-O. It's Latin for Torah. R-O-T-A stands for wheel in Latin. O-R-A-T, orate, or speak in Latin. And A-T-O-R for Hathor. So if you put all that together, that gives you the wheel speaks the law of life. And Hathor is the law. The symbols, this little snake over here is Apathos. He challenged Ra. So he's like the fallen angel. The Sphinx on top, balance in motion. And this little guy is Anubis. He's the gatekeeper to the underworld. And the other letters in between T-O-R and A are the letters for Yahweh. Inside, these are alchemy symbols for water, sulfur, mercury, salt, earth, air, fire, and water. That's what the alchemy symbols represent our suit cards, our suits. we're just tearing through here. We don't have somebody asking questions or getting us off track tonight. Justice. So we have the purple backdrop for compassion. Our gray pillars stand for the law and the system of belief. Our sword, the sword of truth. Our scales for balance. Justice is modeled after Astera, the goddess of justice. And if you notice, she's got one foot out, and then, like where the Hierophant, his steps were divinely guided. Well, one side steps are divinely guided, and the other man's is man's guidance, or the balance of the law to make it fair. Okay, so our hanged man, he's upside down and he's got this halo crown, and it's called a nimbus. Enlightenment or a holy person. The cross is a living tree, so it's not crucifixion or anything like that. And the shape of four was called the swastika, and that was before the Nazis were using the symbol. And it stands for man's feet in a prosperous journey. So, of all those things, we've got some more symbolism down on our tarot. Thank you so much for joining me, Michelle. Anybody have any questions to read on? Yeah, my card that used to come up all the time, I called it my stalker card, was the Hanged Man. Just because I think I was pretty rigid in my thoughts, stubborn, you can say. Not always the best trait or quality in a person. But that was my stalker card for a while. Now, it's pretty well balanced, but I'll get different cards on different months. Well, this will be really quick then. And thank you for joining me. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for watching. Thank you for our lurkers. Do those YouTubey things, like, subscribe, comment. All those things help. And I'll see you next. When will I see you next? Friday afternoon with Kelly at Dozen Cats Wellness Tarot. We're going to do fairy tale reads. So until then, goodbye. And then our regular Friday night is at 11 o'clock. Yeah, the Hangman can be a positive card. It represents Odin hanging himself from the tree to gain enlightenment. So it represents a little bit of self-sacrifice and pausing for reflection, looking at things from a different perspective. And then if you do all that, you gain enlightenment. So thank you, Michelle. Thanks, everyone else. Thank you for watching the replay. You guys have a good night, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're from. Goodbye.